What it do, what it do, what it do. It's Candy, Miss Candy K, if you're nasty. And of course, we're always doing bigger and better things. And what a way to start off December. And literally doing it the best way that we know how to. I'm sitting right now with Mrs. Zake Bantwini. When I did meet him, I did call him Ut Matita. Ngathi Mr. Matita, how are you doing? But can we do it for the camera? How are you doing today? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Is it? I kept telling you that I'm so nervous, but thank you for calming my nerves right now. I mean, obviously, everyone is out today to celebrate the release of Ghetto King tomorrow. Like, are you nervous that people are gonna, how people are actually gonna receive the album? Or you're just kind of like, nah, I mean, I've been doing this, so I'm good to go?
No, I'm actually looking forward to people just listening to the body of work that I've been working on for the past 2 years now. Yeah, so I think I'm looking forward to that moment where everybody is able to hear, the whole album, how it's structured, and how many songs on the album, and probably they're gonna find their favorites. Yeah.
I feel like every song is probably going to be our favorite, but we can't negate the fact that Osama has been doing big things. I mean, when you made that song, did you know that it was going to have the impact that it did?
Let me tell you something. Everybody was telling you that when I made this song, I knew it was gonna be this big.
Yeah.
They're lying. It's a lie. We don't know that. You make an album. The only thing that you can guarantee is that the album is it's a beautiful song. So I knew it was a beautiful song. That I knew. That it was gonna be this big. Nah, I didn't know it was gonna be this big. However, do I believe it's on hype. Like, should it be this big? Of course, when I really listen to it and how we crafted this song. I mean, Kasang, shout out to Kasango, and shout out to Kinda Soul and Nana Ata also, who are contributors of the song. Yeah, so I mean, man, I think we did a great job with this particular song. I mean, it's one of the spiritual songs I've ever done. It's one of my biggest songs in my career. Yeah.
I mean, biggest, I feel like it's up there with everything else that you've done. Let's be honest. I mean, when now you are Mr. Hits after hits after hits. And the fact that we're going to get to dance this December to your music makes me so excited. But I mean, I was watching a few months ago when you did Joyride with Oskido. And I just remember looking at your face, Menleli Ngoma ye Osama, and you just seem so excited. And I remember just feeling in that moment that this man loves what he does and he respects his craft so much. Like, getting to see that moment with you and Oskido for me was super, super beautiful. And I just kept thinking to myself, it's not a lot of people who value sometimes the work that they do. So shout out to you for putting everything that you have in the things that you produce for us. Because I think a lot of artists sometimes go into studio because it's about making money, or your record label says the next album needs to come out. But when you work, it's more about, this is where I'm at right now and this is what I want to give to people. And I love that about you. Tell me a little bit more though about your relationship with Oskido, because I felt like I was watching two brothers in a car just driving around.
Yeah, bro, Skido is my bigger brother. Bro Skido is a hot man of the industry. Is someone that we all rely. Rely on him for guidance.
Any advice?
For advices, for for trying to just put things together, and just obviously too. I mean, it's always a call away when you need
Oh, that's
when you need someone. Yeah, so he's a bigger brother, Oskido. He's a bigger brother, not only to me, but he's a bigger brother to everybody in the industry. Yeah, and that's my relationship with him.
I love that. I mean, when I watched the interview, what I learned is that of course, his name is in the song, but I was like, what is that relationship? Like, what is it about him that you love? I mean, besides that, he's such an amazing musician himself.
Fela Kuti is my muse. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Don't only just love only his music. I just loved the way he thinks, the subject it will speak about, and how he stood for Africans, and how he wasn't scared or afraid of the powers that be. Be it your president. If he didn't feel that we were doing a best job for his people, he will tell you straight in your face that you're not president, you are. And I like that about him, because he also showed the power of music, how powerful musicians are. I mean, I think for me, a person that did, because a lot of people did a lot for South Africa. I mean, apartheid, but I think someone who did a lot beyond so many politicians. I think for me it was so it's Oliver Tambo, and the next after Oliver Tambo is Miriam Makeba, and then everyone else.
And that's why Uma is also part of Ingoma Yako, which makes sense. But I mean, you're speaking right now about just like music and how powerful musicians are. What do you think it is about music that makes people feel what they feel? Like, what is it about music that brings out those emotions?
Because music is emotional. Music is a melody. And melodies, that's what melodies do. Melodies speaks to different, I mean, it's a frequency because we are born of, of, of soul and frequency as well. So we are a frequency. I mean, the first thing when for you to identify that someone is coming is a beat, which is a heartbeat. You know what I mean? And when that beat stops, you're gone. You know.
But we don't want your beat to stop. Tina, we want more and more music. And that's why we're excited about this album dropping tomorrow. But tell me a little bit more actually about Ghetto King. How did the name come about? How did the collaborations come about? Like, how did you say to yourself, it's been 3 years since I released my last album, mustn't get it back in studio and do this now?
Yeah, it's been that's 4 now, eh? Four,
Yo.
5, yeah. So when I was working on this album, I wanted to change the whole sound. So I even changed the music program that I used to use. I used to work on Logic, and this album is purely all of the songs are made on Fruity Loops. And I didn't know like how to use Fruity Loops, which actually demanded me to have someone in the studio every time and be like, yeah, this is the sound that I want, and then they'll give me that sound, and I'll play. But it also demanded that I collaborate. So each and every song, I needed to collaborate with someone because they would know the program better than I would know the program. And also, I mean, they there, and I'm learning this program, this new program. I took the name and used it because this album for me is very futuristic, yeah. So it's futuristic. So I look at the ghetto in the space. So I always say like, okay, if we're all going to space now, is there gonna be a ghetto? Because that's where we believe, yeah, that's where, yeah. So that's where we're gonna go. That's where most of us are. We don't belong in the ghetto. We don't belong in the ghetto. We belong in everywhere else, but every space, yeah, but the ghetto. There we don't belong. But we've managed to make lemonade out of lemon that we're giving. You know what I mean? So we are proud from where we come from, but it's not that we enjoy being there. So people mustn't think that putting us there and keep putting us there and trapping us there that we love and we are enjoying it. No, we're just making sure that we're happy. So Ghetto King, it's us just seeing us in different spaces. We've got to be when people talk about the space. I mean, it's the reason why we're the art gallery. I mean, you don't think ghetto and then you think a gallery. You don't think music and then you think launching in the gallery. That's the stuff that you don't think. You don't think ghetto and then you think a suit. So that's why I wore a suit all the time because it was also that contrast. And you don't think music and think school or think education. That's why I studied education. Yeah, yeah.
Guys, this man, you're impressing me more and more Ngikhuluma now, and I promise you we're gonna wrap things up soon. I just want to know, like, were you never nervous about releasing an album during a pandemic? I mean, this is not an easy time for artists, and both you and your wife are both artists. Yes, you've got businesses and all, but was that not like a nervous feeling that you had?
Yeah, I kept pushing my album. I mean, the album has been ready, but I kept pushing it. I kept pushing. However, I'm also happy that I pushed it because last year in October, because we made Ghetto around October last year. In October, in the album, I was meant to release the album in June. So had I released it in June, it wouldn't have had Osama. So when I, yeah, yeah. So when I pushed it back last year, so then I got to work on Osama, and I also got to work to another song. It's a beautiful song. It's called Bao, which features Amanda Black.
That's the song I cannot wait to hear because I'm obsessed with her. Was that, I mean, not that you have favorites, but was that your favorite collaboration or who was like the most surprising collaboration on your album for you?
I mean, it has to be one of my favorite collaborations. I mean, I'm a fan of Amanda Black, and how easy it was, and the response that she gave me when I reached out to her and be like, "Yo, I have this song," and for her to say, "Okay, now I wrote the verse and the chorus. However, I can't have a song without you in it. So you are gonna do the second verse. So I was like, but Aman, why are you commanding now? This is supposed to be myself, but you are telling me now, you know. So she's like, no, Zakes, I'm not gonna. If you're not on vocals on this song, then I'm not happy. Yeah, so I had to, yeah, yeah. So I had to write the second verse, but I was like, it's a complete song. I mean, she already, yeah.
I literally cannot wait for everybody to hear this album. It's going to be beautiful and amazing. And what you said earlier about it being futuristic but also rooted in African sounds is such a beautiful thing. So, King Matita, siyabonga for isikhathi sakho. I wish you everything of the best with this album and just everything else that you've got planned out for rolling out this launch. Like, we're so proud of you. Thank you for bringing us to beautiful spaces as Black people, Sakbonga, and just loving your community enough to say, I'm going to give back to you in the best way that I know how to.
Yeah, you must look around and buy some art. You know, there's so many beautiful artists, fine artists are here, man. So we have to support. We have to look. If you see something you like, please do buy.